Welcome viewers, Michael Kalinovski here, and I'm excited to introduce our new guest here, Mr. Andrew Morello. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having me.
First of all, it's on the tip of everybody's lips at the moment. We've had strong auction clearance rates in the last 8 to 9 weeks, starting at 70, 75 and even 80% last weekend. What's your take on the current market conditions?
Yeah, look, it's a great time to be selling, isn't it? There's a real lack of stock still on the market. What's happened is a lot of people at this time of the year, it's sort of middle ground where a lot of owners are thinking, should I sell, should I not, or should I wait for the spring market? Problem with waiting for the spring market is that a lot of people are doing the same thing. Yeah. They're waiting for it. So you'll see that, often, or maybe not this year because we had a slow start to the year, but often what you'll see is there's a glut come on at springtime. So you want to try and beat that market a little bit and be ahead of it. Hence, I reckon, in my opinion, that we should see strong auction conditions all the way up to Christmas. Usually it kicks off, at the end of November. During November starts to peel off. I reckon what you're going to find is the Saturday just before Christmas is going to be full of auctions this year, and they're going to be selling. That's the thing. The second big thing is the money's the cheapest it's ever been, with the Reserve Bank looking to probably reduce the interest rates again because of to try and stimulate the retail sector. The housing certainly kicked off a little bit, but we could always go a bit more. But certainly the auction conditions right now absolutely primed for sellers. And if any of them are sitting on the fence, well, make sure you don't get splinters.
Advice to relatives, friends, neighbours, how would you go about putting them to introducing them to come into the marketplace, and why it should be right now again?
Yeah, definitely. So probably the big thing right now is everybody that you're speaking to, you should, all the time, you should be doing your research, speaking to people, seeing what's going on in the markets and so forth. But if anyone's thinking about selling right now, auction would be the best method in my opinion. Now, I'm biased, I'm an auctioneer, but right now there is plenty of competition in the market. There are, as I said, that lack of stock. Money is readily and available. I'm from the money industry at Yellow Brick Road, so we're constantly servicing clients on a daily basis, and we're seeing that there's a real opportunity out there right now for sellers to try and capitalise on a seller's market.
Yeah, and the benefits of an auction, as you've caught, a numerous amount of auctions.
Yep.
What are the benefits of going to auction and the time on market and all that? Can you just explain to the
Yeah, definitely. So I've called over 1,000 auctions. So I literally have been around it a long time. I've called them in Melbourne, Sydney, and around Australia. I've been coached by some of the best, and also I've worked with a number of the best real estate firms and estate agents in the country. So probably the big thing right now with auction, and sort of, in my opinion, it's always been a transparent way to buy real estate. So there was the old adage and the old stories of these gold-watched real estate agents who, with the big gold chains, who used to have their people planted in the crowd. It's a lot harder now. There's a lot of regulation around auctions. So what the great thing about that is, it means that people can feel safe and secure that when they're bidding transparently, which is a wonderful thing we get to see. What I always explain to people as well is vendors at auction day, when the auctioneer walks out to call the auction, are most primed to sell. Like in their head, they're thinking they want to sell. What a lot of buyers have a misconception is they think they need to wait till it's on the market, or they think they need to wait till, for example, till someone else bids. What my recommendation often is to buyers as well is to get in there, because vendors. We're at auction. Auction is the right time. It's transparent. It's the best way to sell real estate, in my opinion. So what I always do is recommend to people, do your due diligence, make sure you do your research. But if you're thinking about selling anytime soon, auction will certainly be the best way. Plus, as well, you've got auction conditions mean that you're void of things such as cooling off and subject to finance and things of that nature. When they are bidding at auction, they're bidding with cash, they're bidding prepared, and they know that they're coming there to buy your home.
We've got qualified buyers, haven't we?
Correct.
And the beauty of the auction process as well, as you would know, is leading up to the 4 weeks. Come auction day, if Mr. and Mrs. Vendor have got a magic price in their head, we'll know come auction day, won't we?
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing auction's very good at doing too is lowering the amount of days on market. So one of the big things is private sale. The buyer mentality with private sale is, I'll go look at it next week because it's private sale. If they see the word auction next to it, they're afraid it's going to sell prior, there's an urgency, and generally the buyers are much more educated now, and they realise that a vendor that's selling at auction is a educated seller, one, and also is a serious seller.
Very motivated.
Motivated. So a vendor who is selling at with profit sale generally is the sort of vendor that is saying, or the owner of the home, that is saying, we're just testing out the market. The problem with testing out the market is there's a fear sometimes that what you do is you overcook the property. Yep. It sits on market for too long, becomes stale, and you miss that opportunity that you may have had with an auction campaign.
I guess every Sunday everybody just waits for the auction results in the papers, yep. And it's a very interesting fact that the newspaper always advertises the auction results instead of the for sale results.
Yes.
Because being less days on the market, being between 21 and 29 days on the market, yep. People like to see that. So you don't get to see the newspapers advertising for sale yep. at 120, 190 days average sale, do you?
No.
So when you compare the two between auction and private treaty,
yep.
the logical thing to do in today's current market conditions would
yep.
actually be go to auction.
Go to auction. And probably what I want to tell viewers is too is if you're a bit nervous at selling at auction because you think that, what if it doesn't sell on the day? Of the auctions I call, this is why it's very important to pick the right agent and also to pick the right auctioneer too, or make sure that you ask questions about the auctioneer when the agent, suggests that this is the auctioneer that we use. Reason being is because even if it doesn't sell on auction day, it's a really good way to bring all the buyers out and to actually sift out the market and see where it's at. So some people go, if I don't sell at auction day, it's going to be a disaster. Well, it's actually not going to be a disaster. Generally, most properties sell, especially in the inner city of Sydney and the metropolitan areas of Australia, most sell within, as long as the vendors got realistic expectations, they will often sell within 7 to 14 days post-auction. So auction day is certainly, in my opinion, the day to sell because you get those great auction conditions where everything's condition free, as per se. But what I would recommend is don't be too stressed out if you get to auction day and you've got no bidders or you've got one bidder. That's why it's good to have a good real estate agent because that way they can negotiate on your behalf.
And also, I think the potential of earning more than above market value without a ceiling cap. Yeah. Going to auction without a price, that's always a good thing to do, yeah?
Yeah, well, we've got, right now, what you're seeing is you've got a number of, the two methodologies, going to market without a price or going with a price. This is where the right agent's very, very important because they need to get that feedback from the market and then reflect that feedback back to you, the vendor, to make a better decision for your reserve come auction day. So what I recommend in that case is that you're very lucky right now where there's multiple buyers on each property. And this is, you need to capitalise on the opportunity there. And the opportunity is effectively going out there, having an investor, having a owner-occupier, having a first home buyer fighting off against the same property, plenty of emotion. That's when an auctioneer is at his best.
Well, we've seen in the last 6-8 weeks with the market conditions, buyer inquiries, buyer opens, 30, 40, 50 people going through at any one time, which is way up since last year and even in the summertime. And I guess that competition atmosphere always brings the best out of people.
It does.
And they're always looking in the corner of their eye, oh geez, I don't want him to get it. And there you have it. So you only need 2 people to actually bid for it, but you can only sell it once, can't you?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And people don't want to miss out on these properties at the moment because you miss out today, next week they go up again, don't they?
Yeah, correct. Look, I had clients, so I was suggesting to them to purchase property 12 months ago, and they're like, oh, I reckon the market's going to come off. The market's not going to come off, guys. No. It's we're in Australia. It's the land of opportunity. I speak to people on a daily basis, speak at conferences all around the country, and we are the greatest country in the world. I'm not saying that because we're here, but we are because everybody wants to be here, and we will always have that influx. And there's a great thing that Australia's got, which is that people really want to come here or want to put their money here. So whenever the market gets a little bit slow and the market gets a bit tough, we've got a great tap that the Australian government always likes to play with, which is the Asian market. And I've been very blessed to do business in a number of Asian countries, and I can tell you, if you haven't travelled there, and by telling them you're Australian, you are honestly the diamond out here. Like, this is where they all want to be or where they want to park their money. So we're always going to have foreign investment. So keeping in mind that the market's not going to really come off. People keep saying, oh, I'm waiting for the property prices to come down. They're not going to come down. Are they going to level out a bit? Yeah, they might. I reckon they're levelling right now. Are they going to go gangbusters again? Probably not for quite a while. But you know what? That's a good thing because steady growth is much better than gangbusters anyway.
Some great tips there and some advice from Mr. Andrew Morello. Viewers, if you want to get in touch with Andrew or myself, all the details are right below. Andrew, how can I get in touch with you?
You can contact me on email, which is andrew.morello@ybr.com.au. Otherwise, feel free to walk into a Yellow Brick Road branch today and they can assist you with all your financial services needs.
Andrew, once again, thank you very much.
Thanks, Michael.